Okay, I'm back, and apparently it was not lag. There is something actually wrong. So I guess I get to show you how I debug things. So the first thing I do is I actually go through and I comment everything that I do. So this is, what does this do? Checks if player exists, basically, is what that does. And this is, this gets the player. And this gets where the player is. And this gets the saved world where the player is. This gets the metaphorical crazy blockness. That's code for I don't know. I don't know exactly. And this is get the actual block where the player is. This is get a random number between 1 to 100 inclusive, and this, okay, there's another kind of comment. So we've been using slashes. There's also /star, which is useful when there's things like this, which we're going to say. So this says, because this is two separate notes, in my opinion, checks if world loaded, right? And then you close it by another thing and another slash. So, and this is checks if player is moving, and checks if our random number is within a percentile. Yeah. This is checks if block is grass. Oh, and I remembered where I got this, so I'm going to make a note here. This is asks world to change current block to grass and stolen from Minecraft farmland code. Yeah, so the concept for this, I'm like, I want it to change to dirt. Like, you know, if you fall on a piece of farmland and it changes to dirt. So I went and I just stole that code. And that's right here. And it's cool. And this, this is a debug tool to print to console. And we don't actually need that to do anything right now. Oh, hang on. And I still have this thing here. So, hold on. I'm going to see if that works. Actually, I'm also going to check that our whole mod is loaded, because that's, I don't think I checked that. Yeah, so as you comment, you kind of think of new things that might not be working or might give you clues to what is not actually working. I don't know. Maybe you think it's unnecessary for me to show you how I debug things, but it's kind of... Okay, so autopath is loaded. Single player, play this world. And we're going to throw our orange wool We're going to go pick it up, and yeah, see down here it says item picked up. So that's working, which means that our mod, what did I just do? Anyway, that means our mod is actually loading, and it is actually reading this thing. So that's useful. That's kind of why I left this in. So this whole thing is a debug to make sure mod is actually working, running, whatever. Okay. So that is the first step in my debugging process, and it's honestly, it's a good practice, maybe not this many comments, but it's a good practice to comment on your code, to put in comments. That way if someone else like wants to go in and fix things and you don't have time, or like if you're working for a client and they hire somebody else later, it makes it easier for whoever goes back in and changes your code to figure out what does what. Also, if you're asking for help and you have comments about what things do, it makes it easier for anyone who goes in to read your code in order to help you. It helps them see what it's doing and what it's supposed to be doing. Comments are good. That's the end of that story. So the next thing that I do after commenting is I play Jenga. So I take pieces of code and I take them out to see if things resolve or if things break further. And this is something that I actually kind of love doing with other people's code. I'm like, oh, what does that do? And you take it out and then it destroys the whole thing, or it doesn't do the thing that it was supposed to be doing. Now you know what that piece of code does. So I'm going to I'm actually going to take out, because this was working right before we had this if statement. So first I'm going to take out that. So I'm going to take out all of the related items. So the actual if check and its related curly bracket, and this is why commenting on your end curly brackets is super useful, because then I can just comment that one out and I know it's the right one and I can put it back in a minute. So we're going to save and we're going to hit play and we're going to see if this helps. Sigh. Single player, new world. Okay. Oh, yep, and things are turning to dirt. There's my other orange block. There's my other orange block. Right. So I wanted to make paths between the two orange blocks, because that's what you do. Okay, so that part's working. So we know that our error is somewhere on this line. Our error is somewhere in here. So what we're going to do, since this consists of two things, it checks if the world is loaded, and it checks if the player is moving, we're going to go in and try the first one. We're going to stop it checking if the world is remote. And we're going to go and move this over behind that @ symbol. Yes, while you're commenting, it will do crazy things like lots of red, and it will make you scary. It will look scary. So we're just going to say, okay, that's that. So now it's only checking if the player is moving, right? Yeah, okay. Do. Do 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 do. By the way, I honestly don't know why this isn't working. I'm pretty sure it's the same as my original code, but that works and this doesn't, so apparently it's not the same. So we're going to go into single player and we're going to go check our new world and we're going to see if it's the check if world is remote or check if the player is moving, because they're two different things and honestly they should be two different checks. And we have paths, which means it's this crazy if world is remote issue. So this is technically a housekeeping thing. I don't know if that's actually in my code. It's something someone told me to do, and apparently it's messing up my code. So we're going to... Oh! I know what it is. So what we're doing in here is we're saying if the world is not remote, because that's that little... the exclamation point means not, basically. So up here we have if the player entity is not equal to null, which is nobody. If the player entity is not nobody, then we do other stuff. And yep. So we're checking if the world is not remote, and I'm pretty sure the world is supposed to be remote. Pretty sure. So we're just going to delete that little thingy, and we're going to hit save, and we're going to see if it's actually a coding error or if it's just a reverse your symbols error. Yeah. Oh, so slow. Okay, single player, new world. Okay, yay! Yay! So now we can actually go test if our random sauce works. Okay, so now, since we were trying to debug things, we changed this to always pretty much be true, unless it hits a 100, and then it won't be true. But we're going to change that back to 33 to make it a third of the time. We're going to hit save, we're going to hit play, and we're going to go check if this works. This takes forever. This is the longest part of modding Minecraft, is waiting for Minecraft to load. Do 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 do. Yes, I sing and I hum to myself, especially before I've had coffee. But I've had coffee. It's just what I'm programming, apparently. Okay, Okay, so let's go. Look at this. That's still a lot of the time, but it's not. I think we have encountered our error. So I had a bug that I intentionally did not fix yet so that I could show you how I fixed it later. But I think we are starting to encounter it. So see how I turn a certain direction and I stop? Yeah, we're gonna fix that later. We'll probably fix that on the next one since we have already encountered it. But if we go backwards, we're fine. Let's try this again. So we go forwards, and we go backwards, and it works just fine. But first, we're going to adjust our randomness. So we want it to be 1/3 of the time, but we run the player event a lot of the time. So what we really need to do is make it a lot less of the time, right? Okay, cool. So actually, instead of, I mean, I can change this number, but honestly, it's a scale problem, so I'm going to change this, and I'm going to make it times 1,000. So this gives us a number between 1 and 1,000. This here. And that's how you change your scale of your random number. So now it's going to be 33 if it's less than 33 in 1,000. So yeah, that's a lot. That's like a little more than 3 in 100, right? Okay. So we're going to save, and we're going to play, and we're going to hope our tweaky little thingy works here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. That's another bug, by the way, is that when we reloaded our world, did you notice all of our paths left? So actually, I'm going to go write these down because that's good practice. So, bugs! Oh my gosh! Doesn't make paths in a certain direction. And doesn't save paths between opens, right? So we have a couple bugs. And these are two that I've actually already fixed in the published mod, so I know how to fix them, so I can show you how to fix things. So anyway, we're going to go back and make sure that our scaling problem is also fixed. Okay, so we have an orange block, and we have an orange block, and we're going to have 5. We're going to go... See, it doesn't do it all the time. That's awesome. That's what we want. And it's still maybe a little bit much, but that's okay. So, yep, that's what we're doing. So it doesn't do it all the time, which is what we want, and we're good. And so that's what we set out to accomplish this video, so that's what we've done. Yay! So I'll see you in the next video. Be back in a minute.